And welcome back to Jeff Koinange Live. As is in television, straight to business news. And the appeal court has temporarily suspended a hearing before it pitting beer distributor Beer Tosha and the East African Breweries Limited. This, it says, follows a successful application by the distributors' advocates before the Supreme Court challenging a decision by the appeals court.
Three Court of Appeal judges Roslyn Namboye, Katharima Mtoinoti and Philip Waki, the presiding judge, had to adjourn the matter to give way to the Supreme Court to hear and determine the petition by Beer Tosha filed under certificate of urgency last week. Beer Tosha, through its lawyers, petitioned the Supreme Court, arguing that previous decision by the appeal court that had directed that the main appeal by EABL be heard before a hearing on contempt of court application by Beer Tosha against KBL was an error in law.
The parties have also agreed by consent on timelines to ensure expeditious disposal of that application.
The distributor is also questioning the conduct of the Court of Appeal in suppressing investigation into an alleged disobedience of more than one court order by the listed brewer. In her supporting affidavit before the Supreme Court, Anne-Marie Borogo, the managing director of Beer Tosha Distributors Limited, states that all courts in Kenya adopted a consistent position that where a contempt of court order is alleged, the contempt must be dealt with at once and all matters suspended until it is established whether or not there has been a violation of the said court order.
Common sense and institutional committee demands that we hold our hands to give the Supreme Court, the final court in the land, an opportunity to pronounce itself.
The main appeal arose from the High Court orders which directed that pending hearing and determination of the petition, Beer Tosha distribution territory exclusively be preserved by KBL, an order which is alleged to have been disobeyed. In the matter, Beer Tosha, the largest beer distributor in Kenya, moved to the High Court last year, seeking to prevent East African Breweries Limited from appointing other distributors and refund it a cumulative 38 million shillings in goodwill it had paid over the last 10 years for exclusive distribution rights, a demand EABL opposes. The appeal shall be mentioned on the 24th of August 2017. Patrick Igunza, JKL.
That's right, Patrick. That report was indeed by Patrick Igunza. Thank you very much. Now, landowners in the previously exclusive and upmarket areas in Nairobi have over the last 3 years steadily sold their lands to meet the growing demand of housing in the city. According to the Hass Property Index report for the second quarter of 2017, landowners in Karen, Langata, Muthaiga and Gigiri are now selling to unlock value for their parcels that have grown significantly. The report also shows Eastleigh as one of the areas where the demand for land has witnessed an upsurge in recent years. In these areas, an acre of land, for instance in Gigiri, will cost you, get this, 233 million shillings. While in Muthaiga, the same will cost you 138.3 million shillings. In Karen, an acre goes for 58.2 million shillings. In Langata, an acre of land currently sells at 58.9 million shillings. And in Eastleigh, get ready for this, an acre of land goes for 278.8 million shillings.
Values are going up everywhere, and Eastleigh was dropping. So if you look at our previous reports, Eastleigh was dropping. Then it reaches a place where it suddenly becomes attractive again because of the price that it's at, and then investors move back into that suburb. So initially, because it had inflated so much, they had held off on it, and the minute it started dropping, it reached a level where it became attractive again. So everyone now is moving back into the suburb to buy land there, and what that means is now there's an uptick in advertised prices in that area.
Interesting report there. Now, good news for coffee farmers in Embu, who are set to benefit from better prices after the county government signed a direct sale agreement with the global trade and finance firm buyers from South Korea and the United States. Speaking during the signing of a memorandum of understanding on marketing with the management of 24 coffee societies in the county, Global Trade and Finance Chief Executive of South Korea, KJ said they have decided to partner with the coffee societies to streamline the marketing of the product due to the increased demands of processed Kenyan coffee in their countries. She added that Embu coffee is highly regarded in the world in quality. Embu Coffee Farmers Union Chairman John Maruku said the move was expected to raise the price of coffee to 500 shillings per kilo from the current 100 shillings. He was echoed by Embu's Senator Lenny Kivuti, who says the move will eliminate coffee brokers who have been exploiting farmers by giving them low pay.
We would like our coffee to be bought highly so that our farmers can benefit from that product.
Embu County coffee can be marketed directly to the US and to Korea.
All right, great news there for coffee farmers. Now, analysts now say that all attempts must be made to solve the current financial crisis of Nakumatt supermarkets. This, they say, is because the firm plays a critical role in Kenya's retail sector. Mumbi Warui has the details.
For over 20 years, Nakumatt supermarkets played a critical role in Kenya's retail chain sector, with close to over 46 branches locally and another 10 in the region. The stores have been the poster child of a successful family-owned business. But its recent financial distress has opened the lid to how significant it is to the Kenyan economy. With an estimated 30 billion shillings in debt, analysts now insist that more must be done to bring it back to its feet.
Nakumatt going down would have a negative ripple effect across the economy, and any government worth its salt would want to avoid that.
The retail sector has in the past contributed up to 8% to the Kenyan economy, with Nakumatt accounting for a large chunk of this. This has, however, fallen in the last 1 year to close to 5%, attributed to the wars bedeviling the sector. So far, Nakumatt has over 40 branches in Kenya, 5 in Uganda, 3 in Rwanda and 5 in Tanzania. The stores have 6,500 employees locally and over 1,000 suppliers attached to it.
We do not want the economy to all of a sudden miss 20 billion. That is coming into it every year. And there are other small businesses that are in these malls that are dependent on the anchor tenant, which is Nakumatt. These businesses will no longer enjoy the traffic that they enjoy currently because Nakumatt is no longer a tenant with them.
Even with its current shape and form, Nakumatt says it needs more of capital injection as opposed to a strategic investor in the short term. Already, the government is mediating between the retailer and its creditors on suitable repayment terms.
If that is solved with a proper capital injection, Nakumatt would be on its feet once again and try and supply its market with its products.
On Tuesday, Principal Secretary of Trade Chris Kipto met with representatives from 8 commercial banks, including Diamond Trust Bank, Kenya Commercial Bank, EcoBank, Standard Chartered Bank, Habib Bank, Guaranteed Trust Bank and Bank of Africa, urging them to work out an alternative repayment plan with Nakumatt, which owes them 8.5 billion shillings. Mumbi Warui, JKL.
All right, thank you very much, Mumbi Warui there, bringing us to the end of business news. Now time for sports and a quick update on the world of sports. Here's our very own Mike Oki.
Good evening, time for sports news. World javelin champion Julius Yego has stepped up his training at the Kasarani Stadium ahead of